Okay, thank you very much, everybody, for joining my meeting today. And today I'm going to talk about faith, F-A-I-T-H. Faith is a very, very important word in our practice, because without faith, everything that you do in a Buddhist practice is not going to achieve anything. So faith is the key to our overcoming all our problems, achieving our goals, and to attain absolute happiness. So today I've got a lot of materials on guidelines and guidance of faith. And I'm going to share this with you now. I'm going to start with the 5 Eternal Guidelines of Faith by President Ikeda. The first one is to achieve a harmonious family. The family and home are the building blocks of a prosperous society, and by basing our practice on faith for a harmonious family, we can achieve harmony and happiness in the family and thereby society. Number 2, for happiness and success. The basic aim of Nichiren Buddhism is for every individual to achieve lasting happiness, and faith for achieving happiness tells us how. Number 3, to have good health and long life. Faith for health and long life. By dedicating our life to the welfare of others, following a sensible and healthy lifestyle, and fighting illness with resolve and faith, we can overcome all health challenges. Number 4, the confidence to tackle all obstacles. Faith for overcoming obstacles shows us how to transform obstacles into opportunities for growth by treating adversity as a mission or a chance to becoming better. Number 5, to achieve victory in all endeavors. Practicing with the same determination as our mantra is the key to faith for absolute victory. So all the above guidelines are to help us overcome our problems, achieve our goals, and to attain absolute happiness. By making Kozen Rufu the ultimate purpose of all our prayers and actions, we can tap the unlimited wisdom, courage, and strength that are inherent in our lives, making the impossible possible. Now, there are 5 prayers that will change our life. Number 1, Mr. Toda said, a strong prayer to the Gohansan is certain to be realized. Please note the word strong, S-T-R-O-N-G. There are 3 conditions, however. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, and Moham Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. He also said, chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo cultivates the state of Buddhahood, and the power of Nam Myoho Renge Kyo is huge. It can transform a life with painful karma into one that is like walking in a beautiful garden or like a pleasant dream. 2, the power of mystic law to change poison into medicine is absolute. The purpose of faith is to transform our karma and enjoy a life of unparalleled happiness. Prayer to the Gohansan, chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, is not abstract or theoretical. It is a burning desire to be victorious. I remember when I first started to practice, the senior member who taught me how to practice this Buddhism said, Lydia, we have to win. Full stop. We have to win. This is what I've learned from her. And this is what I've been doing. And I've been telling myself all the time, I have to win. Okay, let me go on. If that flame of resolve blazes in our heart, the instant we chant, we have already won. It is, as the Daishonin declares, like a lantern lighting up a space that has been dark for 100, 1,000, or 10,000 years. 3. Prayer is the courage to persevere. It is the struggle to overcome our own weakness and lack of confidence in ourselves. It is the act of strong inner conviction that we can change the situation without fail. So please, never give in to your adversity. No matter how bad the situation seems, you can overcome it. You can change it with your inner strong determination. Prayer is the way to destroy all fear. There is no need to fear. It is the way to banish sorrow, the way to light a torch of hope. It is the way that rewrites our destiny. Believe in yourself. Now this is also very important saying. Believe in yourself. We can do it. Just say we can do it. And then with your chanting, you bring forth your power, your courage, and your wisdom. You can do anything that you want. As far as I'm concerned, I've done so many jobs in the past, from a teacher to a stenographer, a receptionist, a secretary, and then the manager and the owner of an interior design business, and then as a dental assistant, marketing manager, receptionist for the brand, then a practice manager. All these things. I just said, I have to do it. I have to do it. And I did. And I was very successful. And I was not afraid. All right? Because I believed in myself. Especially when I started to chant, then I know that the power is within myself. I have the power to do whatever I want. And I did. Okay, let me go on. Don't sell yourself short, which is underestimating yourself, belittling yourself. Undervaluing yourself is contrary to Buddhism. Number 4, Mr. Toda used to say, you should firmly believe that I am Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. The mystic law is the highly effective medicine that relieves the suffering of all people. It is also the great treasure storehouse that brings good fortune and happiness to all. The important thing, though, is to live out our lives based on and completely in sync with the law. When we maintain deep faith based on the foundation that I am Myoho Renge Kyo, we can take on any problem with courage. The key to victory in life lies in whether we can bring forth courage. Number 5, when our fundamental mindset changes, we ourselves change. And when we change, the environment and the world change too. The source of this great transformation is found nowhere but in a radical deepening of our own chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo to the Gohansan. This sort of prayer to the Gohansan is completely different from that found in a dependent, supplicant faith. We do not weakly and passively beg someone for salvation or assistance. Prayer in Nichiren Buddhism is a vow. It is a pledge or commitment to follow a chosen course of action. It is a declaration to challenge a clear objective. Now, talking about we and the environment. I was talking to a member yesterday, and she is a very new member, and her faith was not very strong. And the people living upstairs have been making a lot of noise that is bothering her very, very much. And other people in the building just thought that she was the one who was making the noise, and she was very upset. So let me give you an example. When I first started to practice, there was a senior member who told me about her experience. She had limited money then, so she was only able to buy a unit in a not so high class area, and that building has got a lot of I would have to tell you the word prostitutes. All right, the prostitutes own a unit and they do business in the unit, so the whole building has got a lot of prostitutes in the building. And then when she moved in the building, she was giving medical treatment to members or to other people. So she chanted to the Gohansan. She said, "I worry about the safety of all my patients. Please clear my environment so it will be safe." And within 1 year, all the prostitutes moved out. Now, for what reason, I forgot. And then she lived on the second floor. And then the people downstairs, the tenants or owners, changed into offices. So the whole building has been cleared and very safe. This is her faith and her ichinen. So your environment changes with you. I have been telling people a very simple example. That is, if I'm a very tidy person, if I move into a messy house, I was talking about a tidy person moving into a messy house. And because the person is a tidy person, very soon she will clear up the mess and the whole place will become very tidy. So if a messy person moved into a very tidy house, very quickly, because it's messy, the whole house will be messy. So don't blame on the environment. You can change the environment, and the environment is just a mirror of yourself. So let me go on. So the environment is only a reflection of ourselves. So please, if anything happens that you are not happy with, don't blame on anyone or anybody. Look into yourself and see what's wrong with yourself. If you change yourself, you can change the environment. Okay, so I'm going to share with you lots and lots of guidance today. So I'm going next to Sensei's guidance to our practice. The number one is thank you. Thank you is very, very important. If we are thankful to everyone and everybody in the Gohansan, your life will become better and better. To give you an example, I got an orchid plant in my living room, and it's blossoming and flowering very, very nicely. And every time I look at it, I thank the flowers. I thank the flowers for giving me such pleasure. And you know what? Now I'm seeing twin bulbs growing. It is already in full bloom, but there are 2 twin bulbs that are going to flower, open. So this is, I think the flowers can feel my thank you, and they're doing much better. Okay, Sensei's guidance. Number 1, thank you. Thank you for having the Gohansan. Thank you for being able to change my karma. Thank you for being born in this era. Thank you for all the people around me. Because everything and everyone is a teacher to me. Number 2, achievement and realization. Be aware that for every external cause, there is an internal cause before. That is, everything starts from within us. Every hurt, anger, frustration, irritation, or painful situation that happens to me is my responsibility, not others. This is very, very important. Please do not blame others. Then, my karma made that happen or made them act that way. Change poison into medicine. Be aware of my inner tendencies that drove such negative situation towards me. I am responsible for elevating my vital condition. I think there is a member who told me that she didn't have a very happy childhood because I think her mother was very depressed and her mother would not let her smile or laugh. So this is why when she grows up, even until now, she's a very, very unhappy person because she's not allowed to be happy. So this is because of the inner tendency that drove her into this condition. But as soon as we realize this is my bad tendency, we have to make a decision to change it. As I often said, if you know your problem, then there is no problem. The real problem is that you don't know your problem. Okay, number 3, the correct attitude. A, we have to apologize for any negative thoughts, word, and action. And as far as I think, there is a member who is very, very sick, and he is called, his name is Zhang Jiwei, Mr. Zhang, and his wife is called Jojo. And Mr. Zhang has been sick almost, I would say, all his life, because ever since he was a little child, he had cancer and he got chemo. And I think the effect lasted. And then now he's grown up, but several years ago, he started to have tumor in the brain. And it was removed, and then 2 years later, it came back. It was removed, and then last year, it came back. So he had brain surgery 3 times in a row. And then after the 3rd surgery, there was a lot of fluid contained in his brain. And then he had to have another surgery. And initially, it was decided to be a keyhole surgery. But then later, the doctor found that the skull had corrupted and with a lot of bacteria. So they have to remove half of the skull. So in my mind, I thought, what kind of bad karma has Mr. Zhang got? I forgot to tell Jojo, but I will, that they really have to apologize to the Gohansan for all the wrong things or the abuse of the law they have done in the past. Because this is very bad karma. So we have to apologize for all the bad things we have done in the past to clear our karma. Okay, apologize, number 1. Number 2, or number 3B, Daimoku of selflessness. Pray for the health of the members and for them to deepen their faith. Well, I have to enlarge on this point, because as I said, a couple of days ago or yesterday, I talked to this new member whose faith is not very strong. And initially, I was very much bothered. I said, she is starting to doubt in our practice, although she has applied for a Gohansan. So I was a bit upset about this. But after a while, I thought, okay, instead of getting upset, I might as well chant for her. So instead of getting upset, I started to chant for her to deepen her faith and to strong faith, so she will attain happiness. So this is how I changed my thinking. 3D. Ask the Gohansan, what can I do to improve my situation? And this is what I did too. Remember when I told you that my dental practice was going to be forced to close down? I woke up 3 o'clock in the morning and I started to ask the Gohansan, what shall I do? I don't even know what to chant for. Let me know what I have to do. And then 3 hours later, I've got the inspiration, and since then, everything turned around to my benefit. Okay, our next guideline is, strong faith is required to attain Buddhahood in this lifetime. First of all, it is vital that we practice faith as part of the SGI organization. For only the SGI people are people working together towards Kosen Rufu in the unity of many in body, one in mind. Some people may think that practicing faith alone, unconnected to the organization, is easier. But when people practice alone, their faith tends to become selfish and their actions egocentric. This is a frightening thing. We have to pray to the Gohansan to become more broad-minded and tolerant. We have to chant and face the people and the things in our life that are making us unhappy. Running away from things we find unpleasant is what causes suffering. But if we face and challenge each situation, it will enrich your life. Faith in the mystic law is the fundamental power to overcome the sufferings of birth, old age, and sickness and death, and to develop an eternally free and joyous state of existence. Your Buddhist study will greatly support your efforts to develop a faith that never wavers, no matter what obstacles may arise. Sensei says, I hope you will have this spirit to read the Gosho, as it is a wonderful expression of your faith. In the organization, on the job, and in human relations, it is only natural that we should experience worries and deadlocks from time to time. But it is precisely at such times that we must break through. There is no alternative other than to advance and realize victory through our own efforts. Nichiren inscribed the Gohansan to serve as a mirror to reflect our inner enlightened nature. When we chant to the Gohansan, we do not expect the scroll to fulfill our wishes. It's not a magic wand. You just wave it and your wish will come true. This is not right. Rather, we chant to reveal the power of our own enlightened wisdom and vow to put it to use for the good of ourselves and others. Next topic, Buddhism in daily life. Getting victory is one of the deep motivations of Buddhism. The triumph of faith and justice are the law of the universe. Firmly believe in this wholeheartedly is the essence of faith. We must achieve the victory. It is only so that we can ensure the triumph of justice, make happiness a reality, and contribute to Kozen Rufu. Nichiren Daishonin also tells us that sharing a great common goal is a source of victory. If we change the heart, change the action. If we change the action, change the environment. If we change the environment, we change the personality. If it changes personality, it changes everyday life. If there is uprightness, there will be beauty in the heart. Yes, it's our personality that makes us what we are and how we live. So please observe our personality and change whatever aspect it is that makes us unhappy. For example, I used to be a very angry person. So I tried to change, to resolve the anger in my life. And now I'm a much happier person. I'm not as angry as before. So when the anger is resolved, I become happy. So when we face hardships or challenging times, it is particularly important that we remain in close contact with sincere, warm-hearted members and advance with the harmonious organization for Kozen Rufu. By doing so, we deny devilish functions any chance to enter our lives. So SGI is truly a safe haven of life, and there is no greater joy than a life dedicated to faith. So how do we tackle our problems? This challenge is what makes a rich life. Buddhism teaches that earthly desires are enlightenment. The greater our sufferings, the greater happiness we can transform them into through the power of Daimoku. We are the pioneers of Kozen Rufu in our respective countries and communities. The blessings you will accommodate are as great as the ocean or a huge mountain, and they will continue to grow without limit as the sphere of Kozen Rufu expands. whether one has faith or not, to boldly face the mountain of difficulties with a strong determination is the correct way to live as a human being. It is all the more important that we, who stand upon our faith with a sense of mission, face and overcome all obstacles that confront us without trying to avoid anything. Next, chanting. Where, when, and how. 1. Recite Gongyo, 2 brief messages of the Lotus Sutra, which concern with the universality of the Buddhahood and the eternity of life. Chanting Nam-myoho Renge-kyo Daimoku twice a day and whenever they feel doing it. So you can chant Nam-myoho Renge-kyo not just morning and evening, but whenever you're out in the street or when you're doing your job. And as far as I'm concerned, when I'm going to talk to somebody who has got a lot of problems, and when I'm talking to them or when they're talking to me, I will chant silently in my heart, so I will be able to respond and give them encouragement. So you can chant, and then when I'm driving and when the traffic is really stuck, I will start chanting, and then my path where my car is on will clear up. So this is how mystic it is. So in the morning, we do Gongyo to launch you into the day with a positive mind. There was a member who asked, I have no time to do my Gongyo in the morning. Can I just do it in the evening? So this is the answer. We have to do it in the morning to launch us into the day with a positive mind. And in the evening, if the day was good, we send gratitude with the spirit of gratitude for the day we have had. And if the day was bad, then regain the courage and confidence to tackle the challenges. Now, next, no set time to chant, no set period of chanting, entirely up to the individual. The practice is immediately flexible, shaped to be fit in with the demands of the modern day life. So if this member who cannot find time to do the morning Gongyo, what I would suggest is, can you get up like 10-15 minutes earlier and at least 10-15 minutes Gongyo? This is our determination to follow the practice and to live a better life. The next point is, the key element is the regularity. Just as we need to refuel our bodies with meals, this is regular refreshment of our spiritual resources. Yes, we have to do it regularly. Yeah, just like we need to eat 2 meals, 3 meals a day to give us energy, we need Nam-myoho Renge-kyo to refuel our spiritual energy. There's a very simple example I told Chloe this morning. I said it's just like a car. You need to put fuel in the car regularly, or else you do not expect the car to run without fuel. So it is exactly the same as our chanting. The Daishonin states, anyone who practices this law will obtain both the cause and the effect of Buddhahood simultaneously. The moment we chant, whatever our state of life is, which is the cause, we simultaneously transform it into Buddhahood, which is the effect. But we need to continue. The key to changing our life is fighting and overcoming fundamental darkness in ourselves. As President Ikeda explains, to chant Nam-myoho Renge-kyo is to praise, Praise, most highly the Gohansan that Nichiren Daishonin manifested. At the same time, it is to praise the Gohansan in our own lives. And to praise the world of Buddhahood within us, we are praising ourselves. When the life of the world of Buddhahood is praised in this fashion, it becomes manifest. The Daishonin says that our Buddhahood is summoned forth and manifested. It is we who are calling forth our Buddhahood, and it is our Buddhahood that is being called forth. The world of Buddhahood is not something that is given to us from the outside. It is within us. We call it forth from within. It is a case of communicating and uniting with the Gohansan within ourselves. The Daishonin says, never seek this Gohansan outside yourself. The Gohansan exists only within the normal flesh of us who embrace the Lotus Sutra and chant Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. Nam-myoho Renge Kyo is the ultimate rhythm and law of life. Mr. Toda said, firmly believing that there is no distinction between the Gohansan, the Daishonin, and ourselves. We should chant Daimoku with deep appreciation and gratitude for this in our hearts. When we do so, the rhythm of our lives aligns itself with the rhythm of the universe, and our lives connect with the great life of the universe, thereby enabling us to bring forth incredible life force. So we are part of the universe, right? Whatever power the universe has, we have it within us. So when we chant Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, we attune our life with the universe and can bring forth the power of the universe into us. Accordingly, there are no hardships or sufferings in life that we cannot overcome, and no way that we will fail to become happy. Mr. Toda also said that if we exert ourselves in faith, practice, and study, we would not remain forever deceived. Ignorant people at the mercy of various sufferings. All of the members of the SGI can bring their lives to shine with the same brilliant life state of the Buddha. Please note that Mr. Toda put faith before practice and study. This shows how important faith is. The Daishonin states, if one joint of a bamboo is ruptured, then all the joints will split. One courageous action can break through the joint of a bamboo or the walls of the obstacles that hinder Kosen Rufu and our lives. So let's go forth with the power of a charging lion. Next topic is, never be defeated in spirit. Earnest resolve also focuses on our minds. What we direct our minds at is important. Clarifying and setting a fundamental purpose for our actions is crucial. As SGI members, we direct our minds towards the Gohansan and Kosen Rufu. Earnest resolve cannot be seen, but through its power, we can orient ourselves in the direction of victory and happiness. Life isn't always smooth and pleasant. Some of us may be struggling or suffering over not being able to take part in SGI's activities as much as we would like because of work, illness, or some other circumstances. When we find ourselves in such a situation, that's the time to direct our mind towards the Gohansan. Those who run away from activities don't face such internal struggles in the first place. But the fact that you are wrestling with this problem is itself proof that you are challenging yourself based on faith. Struggling with problems make you stronger. There is no need to worry. The key is to take one step, even half a step forward, to keep acting with earnest resolve, and to keep that resolve alive. That is what it means for us to keep in mind earnest resolve. The next subject is very interesting. It's called the size of the Gohansan. A small boy asked his father, "What is the size of the Gohansan?" The father paused for a moment and looked up at the sky. Seeing an aeroplane, asked his son, "What is the size of the aeroplane?" The boy answered, "It is very small. I can barely see it." So the father took him to the airport And as they approached the aeroplane, he asked again, "So, now, what is the size of this one?" The boy answered, "Wow, Daddy, this is huge." Then the father told him, "Son, Gohansan is like this only. The size of the Gohansan depends upon the distance between you and him. The closer you are to the Gohansan, the greater it will appear to you in your life." Now, the closer doesn't really mean physical closeness. It means our heart. The next topic. Should I face challenges or run away? When I face problems, running away sometimes seems like the easiest solution. Any advice? Sensei said, "You can run away, of course. That freedom exists, but it is a very small, petty freedom. It only leads to a life of great hardship, a life in which you will be powerless, weak, and completely frustrated. Great character is forged through hardship. Only by polishing yourself through repeated difficulties can you build a self that sparkles as brightly as a gem. When you have developed such a state of being, nothing will upset you. You will be free. You will be victorious. Hardship will even become enjoyable." Freedom is relative. You may run away from hard work and effort, declaring yourself a free spirit. But you cannot run away from yourself, from your own weakness, personality, and destiny. It is like trying to run away from your shadow. This is a very, very good narrative and example indeed. It is even more impossible to escape from the sufferings of aging, sickness, and death. The more we try to avoid hardships, the more persistently they pursue us. That is why it is important that we turn and face our problems head on. It is impossible to have absolutely everything go your way all the time. In fact, if it weren't for the various obstacles life presents us with, we probably wouldn't appreciate what it is to be free. So talking about myself, ever since I was a little girl, I was faced with lots and lots and lots of obstacles and problems. But I think it's my character, I would not submit to the problems. I would face them head on and try to solve them. And this is why I have a very strong character. I think it's the problems that I was able to solve and I was able to face that make me strong. And now with this Buddhist practice, Buddhism tells me that nothing is impossible. That makes me even stronger. Okay, let me go on. Never give in to defeat. For a seed to sprout, it must exert tremendous effort to break out of its hard suffering. That sprout must then valiantly push its way through a thick layer of soil to reach the blue sky above. I think I've talked about another example of a lobster. A long time ago, I went to see a documentary in the ocean, and I saw a lobster trying to cast off its shell. It struggled so much, using all its might to break through the shell. It was very, very hard work indeed. But once it broke through the shell, it became bigger. And I could see it swimming so freely and happily in the water. So this is why when we can break through our obstacles and problems, that is the time when we feel free. Therefore, the hardships we experience all contribute to our growth. The important thing is to keep pressing forward like a lobster or like a seed, no matter how tough or painful the going may get. Life is a battle to win ultimate and unlimited freedom. Earnest resolve is the key to ordinary people attaining Buddhahood. So what exactly is this earnest resolve? The Daishonin says that it is the doctrine of observing the mind. The key point of this practice is earnest resolve, says the Daishonin. The fundamental cause for attaining Buddhahood is the earnest resolve to seek, have faith in, and protect the Lotus Sutra and the Buddha who teaches it. That is why the Daishonin declares, ordinary people keep in mind the words earnest resolve, and thereby they become Buddhas. The word for mission, M-I-S-S-O-N, in Chinese is written with 2 characters that mean to use one's life, 习命. The purpose for which we use our precious life is important. Working to realize the mission of Kozen Rufu and praying and take action for the happiness of others is the most respect-worthy behavior we can engage in all human beings. Such behavior is demonstrated by the admirable members of the SGI. When they see someone in trouble or distress, they put their own needs aside and reach out to help. Well, this is what I've been taught by my senior member in Hong Kong. She said, Lydia, unless you are dying or unless your house is falling down, go and help other people. Go and encourage other people first. And this is what I've been taught, and this is what I've been doing ever since then. When SGI members learn someone has a problem, they immediately rush to their aid. No matter how busy they are or how far they must travel, they eagerly attend discussion meetings. That is, we put SGI activities in our first priority. Let me give you another example and experience. The senior member in Hong Kong who taught me chanting put her whole life and effort into Kozen Rufu. At one time when her father was in the hospital and he was dying, this member got a call from another member who's got a serious problem, and this member just walked out of the sick room and tried to encourage the other member. So this is what her spirit is, and this is what she has taught me, and this is what I've been following. Next topic, encouragement of the 4 seasons. Courage is a light that shines ever more brilliantly in the most painful and trying times. When we lose hope, courage illuminates our way. Courage is the most important quality in life. Those who can summon up courage at the crucial moment are honorable human beings. Courage is the essence of Buddhism. Courage is the driving force for victory. Courage does not exist outside ourselves. It is inherent within our heart. Courage is not possessed by just a few. We all possess courage. What is important is to constantly challenge ourselves to transform our lives, which means to carry out our human revolution. Our Buddhist practice is to constantly renew and develop ourselves. Chanting Daimoku and doing SGI activities are the greatest means to achieve this. If we feel sad and lonely, accept these feelings. Don't try to distract ourselves with superficial amusements, like going to play mahjong or going out shopping. It's no use. And don't try to pretend that nothing is wrong by putting them down. Go through them to the end. Bear them with courage and turn them into food for your growth. People like flowers who need light. If no one appreciates them or cares about them, their heart collapses. So please be like the sun that shines on everyone with the light. People like flowers also need water. Our heart collapses if we do not give courage and happiness to ourselves and to others. If we do not light up our enthusiasm, people who can encourage themselves are truly inspiring and can understand the pain and suffering of others. Find the words, strength and wisdom to bring happiness to your heart. When you feel down, try to get up. If you don't love yourself, you can't love others. If you are shy and sensitive, that is fine. Hardness and insensitivity are not requirements for becoming an adult. Even flowers are not made of concrete. They are soft, delicate, and fragile. People who remain sensitive to the thoughts and feelings of others, all their lives are truly strong. If life seems boring, it may be because we have allowed ourselves to become bored. Like me, for example, like a few months ago, because of the lockdown, I kind of feel bored and I was not happy. But as soon as I realized, I decided to change and find things that are more meaningful, like do more Gohansan Rufu, encourage more members, and try to find an interest like playing the piano to cheer myself up. And now I'm very happy. I'm not bored at all. If life seems empty, it is because we have allowed ourselves to become empty and shallow, and I would never allow myself to be empty and shallow. If we are fed up with life, perhaps life could say the same about us. The way we have only reflects the way we live. Now below are very, very good guidance from President Ikeda on the power of Daimoku. He says, if you underestimate the power of Daimoku and use another strategy, you will lose in the end. You can accumulate good fortune only when you fight for Gohansan Rufu without begrudging your life. A lot of members just complain and begrudge your life. And this is absolutely not working in your interest. Unless your prayers are united, the fight for Gohansan Rufu cannot gain momentum. I remember again, as I repeated, when I was at the rock bottom of my life, my other senior member said, "Don't think about yourself. Go and help others." And and when I did go to help others, I become much happier. Okay, next. No matter what anybody says or does, nothing can defeat the power of Daimoku. But without action, you cannot call it faith. The Gohansan can penetrate through everything. The word faith is very mystic. And once you become serious, you can gain 1,000 times or 10,000 times more benefits. Now this shows how important faith is. When you chant abundant Daimoku, you have the power to open the heaviest iron door that stands in your way. That is, you can overcome the most massive obstacles in your life. So that's, if we face any obstacles, please do not feel down, do not be upset. Just chant and chant and chant, and you will see that there is light at the end of the tunnel. Next. President Ikeda says, you can definitely change your negative karma. The word of faith is the place where many of us chant powerful Daimoku in unity. Let's create the power like the huge force of the wind. There is nothing but the Daimoku. Daimoku determines everything. Daimoku has more power than 1 million guidances or 1 million books of philosophy. Chant abundant Daimoku and pray to the Gohansan. Ask the Gohansan for whatever you need. Everything will come true as you wished, and the path of Gohansan Rufu will also open up in front of you. Everything depends on how much Daimoku you chant. When you chant a lot of Daimoku, your work will become fulfilling. There may be times when tears will not stop flowing. There may also be times when you are terribly hurt. At such time, this is what Sensei says, my heart will open to you. I'm always here to listen to you. I, too, will share your tears with you. I was very touched to see these kind words and encouraging words from Sensei. So let us all follow his example and care and work for the happiness of ourselves and others. So that's all for today.